What's going on, YouTube? How y'all doing today? Haven't posted a video in a while. I've been on vacation for the last 9 days, so if I'm a little rusty, forgive me. But this is the first car of the morning, first day back. And we got a customer complaining of the temperature gauge not working at times and taking a really long time to warm up. Now, I've been driving this car for about 30 minutes, and the furthest has got up to about 150 degrees. I pretty much know what's wrong with it already, but I'm here to show y'all my knowledge to make your life easier. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe so I can continue to make videos like this to make your life easier. Anyways, let's get started. Now, the first thing we're going to do is you always want to do when you have issues, any kind of issue with the engine, sensors, any kind of computer issues, you always want to scan it for codes. That way you can get a baseline of what's going on if there is any codes. So we're going to start the vehicle up. Just going to go to the generic OBD2. I just want to see the temperature gauge is all I want to see. Now this temperature gauge, when fully warmed up, should be around 190 to 220. And it's not getting above, looks about like 160. And you can see we have no codes in the computer. So we're going to back out of there. And go to vehicle data and just select the temp sensor is all I want to see. Not the coolant temp sensor. There's two different sensors on this car. One is for the gauge, it's a single wire sensor, and the other one is for the computer. We're going to be checking the one with the single wire, the one that controls the gauge. Because what I'm looking for here is either a temperature sensor going bad or a thermostat stuck open, which both of them will obviously make the temperature gauge not read right. Another thing you can check for too is turn your heat on. If it feels like it's blowing kind of cool and it doesn't feel real hot, then that's a sign of a thermostat sticking open. If it's blowing real hot and the temperature gauge looks really low, it's probably the sensor. But I'm going to show you how to test it, so enough talk. We're going to go to select items because all I want to see is a temp sensor. Okay, we're at 165 right now. And this car has been running for the last 45 minutes to an hour. It should be well above that. It's 75 degrees out. And it's not getting up past 160. So let's shut this vehicle off. I'm going to show you how to tackle this. Actually, I'm not going to shut it off yet. We're going to do the first test, just to see if the temperature gauge is reading right. Now you can get you a little inexpensive thermostat. I mean, this one wasn't that cheap because it's a Blue Point and it's got a color screen. I know it's a fancy, I like fancy stuff. But you're going to shine it right at the thermostat housing down there. It says 142, 141. Shine it below the thermostat housing, 148, 149. Shine it at the temp sensor right here. This is, you see the one down there? That's for the computer. This is the one we're checking. 138, 136, 150. You're going to have a variance in different spots, but based upon what the computer's telling me, it's at 160 something and 150 something right here. It's close enough to where I'm going to call this sensor good. I'm shining in various different spots. If you had a thermostat stuck closed, it would be cold up here above the thermostat and really hot below the thermostat, meaning coolant ain't flowing because it's stuck closed. But because the temperature is the same above the thermostat and below the thermostat, pretty sure we have a stuck open thermostat. No way to really know unless you pull it, but just based upon my temperature readings, I'm going to go with the thermostat, but I'm still going to test the sensor just to make sure it's working, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Shut the vehicle off. And shut the key on. And this is a quick, easy test just to make sure the sensor or the gauge inside is reading. We know the sensor's reading, but we just want to make sure the gauge is working properly. This is an easy test, so this is simple. I made it myself. 2 alligator clips and a wire. Now we're going to clamp that to the alternator because that's a good ground spot, or anywhere in the body of the car. Preferably closer because this wire's not that long. You take a probe. Make sure it's a probe that can fit in the pin connector because you don't want to spread that connector because then it won't make any connection. And we're going to hook that up just like that. And this gauge should be maxed out, indicating that the cluster is fine. And as you can see, it's all the way up. So that tells me the sensor and the instrument cluster is working right. So I'm about 99.9% sure this thermostat is stuck open. Now if the customer decides to do the work, maybe I'll decide to show you the repair too. And anyways, let's plug that back in right now. And we'll see you whenever I decide to do the repair, if he decides to do the repair or not. Anyways, I hope this vehicle's been informative. Let me shut this key off so the battery don't die. If y'all haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Check like down below. Y'all have a good day. Peace out, YouTube. I'm here. The customer decided to do the thermostat. I'm here to show you how to replace the thermostat. As you know, I did a video earlier of diagnosing the thermostat, so now I'm going to show you how to change the thermostat. Now this applies to all your Ford 3.0 liters rear-wheel drive. Now they use this motor too in some of your Tauruses. It's turned the other way, so it's going to be a little different on those. I think it's on the side of the engine, but this one's right on top and it's a lot easier. So anyways, let's get started. First, you're going to need a 10 millimeter, whatever you got at home. I got the luxury of electric. Pull these 2 bolts. Now you're going to want to drain your coolant too. If you don't know how to do that, well, let me show you. I'll get my big butt on the ground and show you. It's a 19 millimeter plug right on the side of the radiator. It's on the passenger side. Just loosen that and it'll drain out of that little hole. Get you a catch pan and drain it out. I've already done that though. So, let's take both bolts out. That one's already out. Okay. Just being careful not to lose your bolts. Pull up on that. You don't have to take the hose off. You can just lean it to the side. You do want to pull your bolts out so they don't fall. And set them to the side so you don't lose them, because those are long. I don't think I have spare bolts that long. And remember I was telling you the thermostat's stuck open? Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's really in there. I didn't bring no pliers out here. Let's see. Let's MacGyver this. Y'all don't know who MacGyver is. Yeah, well, I'm going to have to go get some pliers there. So, pardon me. Get some vice grips. That way you can grab a hold of it real good. You can use any kind of pliers though. Needle nose. Whatever. Whatever you got. You can grab that bad boy. Somebody did a thermostat on it and they used RTV, so that's going to make it harder to get that gasket out. You don't have to use RTV. Sometimes that can cause it to leak. Just want to stay put. That bad boys, get out. So if you look, notice the difference. See how that valve's stuck open? It's constantly allowing coolant to flow, so it never got warm. And when it gets colder out, you'll have no heat. So now we're going to buff all this crap off, because peel off as much as you can. And like I said, I got the luxury of electric. If you got a razor blade at home, you can use a razor blade. I got an electric buffer. You're doing this outside, so I don't need a flashlight. It's very bright out. You don't have no bays available, you just gotta compromise. I'm not scared to work outside. It's a nice day, so I don't mind it so much when it's summertime. Sun beating down on you. It's still hot even when you're in the shop, but you got a roof over your head, so it makes it a little easier. Buff that till you get all that crap off. It's nice and shiny. Don't look too crazy on it. You don't want to. It's aluminum. You don't want to make it out of round. Of course, there's some stuck on the block. So. Yeah, and it's in a tight spot. So let's see if we can get that angle. And it's a little harder when you ain't got this buffer. You have to use a razor blade or a scraper. But it can be done, because I've done it. I didn't always have all these nice tools. When I first started doing this, couldn't afford these tools. I can barely afford them now. Get that out of your way. But as many cars as I work on and as fast as I am doing this, it pays for itself to have tools like this to speed the job up so you can move on to the next car and make more money. You make sure all that crap's off there, because it will not feel right. That's a little bit on the corner there, but that's not where it seals at, so I'm not worried about that. So, alright, now that we got all that crap off, your housing here. Spring faces downwards, so we're going to go ahead and set that right there. Set your gasket on top, just like that. Line it up real good. Put that down on there, nice and steady. Go ahead and grab you a bolt. Make sure you start them by hand. You strip that out, you're putting a whole new intake on it. Yeah. All over just trying to be stupid and run it down. In my early days, I've done it. That's why I stress it so much. You can turn a simple job into a freaking nightmare real quick. Alright, now grab your tin. Just tighten it back down. That. Alright, sorry I got a little bit of sweat in my eye. Wipe my eyes. Alright, now this little hose came off earlier. Breather. Put that back in there. And now make sure you get all your tools out of the way. You don't want nothing falling down the engine and going flying or damaging something. Now, I'm going to go get some coolant, so bear with me. Now, generally when you change the thermostat, if you don't drain the system, you don't lose a lot of coolant. I didn't drain it all, I just drained just enough to where they don't spill everywhere. So I shouldn't need more than a gallon. Hopefully. But I got plenty on hand if I have to just make the video longer. I just want to show you how to do this because when you fill it back up, it's crucial to make sure it doesn't have air in the system. Sometimes these funnels you can stick in there and they're a nice tight fit. That one's fitting loose, so I'm gonna have to break out the adapters. Yeah, these no-spill funnels are amazing. They seal it off and bleed all the air out as well. Just gotta find the right adapter. Pretty sure it's that one. I've had like so many of these over the years that I just took all the spare parts and threw them all in one. Some of them are color coded, but I think it is probably, let me see, so blue goes with the blue. Come here. But I have a feeling, let's see. It's another adapter I have. I don't see it. It's missing. Let's see. Okay, that's not one to screw on there. So there's only two styles of caps like this. And I think it's because that other adapter that I'm missing. It's this one right here. So we'll take that O-ring off. I don't know where the O-ring went. O-ring on. Let's try this again. That seems better. Nice and tight. Stick your funnel down there, just like that. Start filling this bad boy up. What you want to look for is coolant spilling out of the side of that cap. But so far I don't see any spilling, so we got a tight seal. That's the purpose of this funnel, is to have it tight sealed, because it sits higher up above the radiator and it allows all the air to work itself out. That's how it works itself out, because it's higher above everything. And generally when you change the thermostat, you get a lot of air in the system. And another reason why I'm doing this part, because I want to show all the difference in the temperature gauge from versus the first video. Get everything out of the way. Alright. Start her up. First, let's plug the skin tool in. Alright. Now to speed this up, I'm going to hold the gas down to like 3,000 RPMs. We'll go ahead and go to the coolant temp sensor. Alright, we're at 105 right now, 107. And we wouldn't get above 160 earlier, so should go to at least 190 to 220 fully warmed up. about where we were before, so should be climbing above there. So we're already above where it would not go up earlier. We're already at operating temperature, almost 190, 195, I'm pretty sure. Sorry, I keep wiping my face if you see the camera moving. So I'm going to say this vehicle's fixed, guys. Anyways, let's turn this bad boy off. It's warmed up already, so I'll just go out there and remove that funnel. Make sure it's still holding coolant. We're good. Like I said, I only drained out a little bit, just enough to get below that hose and thermostat so it didn't spill everywhere. But anyway, I hope this video has been informative. Please check like and subscribe. Y'all have a good day. Peace out, YouTube.